Hello, I'm Salil of Salil Inner Voice, and this is the fourth episode in my podcast series all about crystals and how we can get them to work for you. So, what we're doing today is we're actually going to look at how our crystals can actually help our furry friends, our pets. Now, obviously, I will add at this point that you don't get them to eat them, you don't leave them close by them, and you certainly don't leave them unattended with crystals lying around them. Because just the same as with children, pets like to swallow things. And also, this does not replace any treatment that your pet may need from a qualified vet. So, just casting our mind back to the earlier podcast that I did where I addressed the chakras, our pets have the same chakras as us, and just the same as us, there are additional chakras or minor chakras, but we're going to just address, as I did in the earlier episode, the main ones, which are earth, root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and spirit. So our fairy friends have the same as we have. At the end of this podcast, you will also find two diagrams, one of a dog and one of a horse, that you can see where the chakra points are and the colours that resonate with them. I have also added a third image, and this is all about the crystals that you can use associated with those chakra points. So please feel free to pause the video at the end and you can take notes. Dogs and horses obviously are different in sizes, but they are to represent the different size of animals. So if you've got any additional animals that are horse size, i.e. cows or something like that that you may need to work on, then obviously the larger ones you will see where the chakra points are on the larger animals, and taking a dog and below, so cats, hamsters, rabbits, they have the chakra points all around the same sizes. So for ease of explanation, throughout this episode I'm just going to keep referring back to a dog and the points around the dog, but obviously the other animals are just of different sizes. So most of our furry friends are on four legs. Now at the end of each of our animals' feet we have the chakra point that's known as the bud. Now the bud tends to represent the earth point. It's where the animal is in contact with the ground, where it grounds itself, where it earths itself. So as with human beings, our earth point is about 6 inches below our feet. That is roughly where the earth point is for our fairy friends, but the points that we refer to is known as the bud, and they are on each of their feet, their pads. We then move on to the chakra point that we are more familiar with, which is the root one, the root chakra. Now with a dog, the root chakra is where the tail connects with the spine, where the tail actually connects with the actual body part. Okay, from there we move on to the sacral. Now the sacral point on the dog is where the hind legs come up and join the torso. So if you will, with a lot of our furry friends, it's where we have a little bit of a ball patch on the tummy underneath. Okay, so it's under the body and where the hind legs actually come up to the torso. Now the solar plexus is actually more towards on top of the body, the spine, and it's where if you run your hand down your dog's neck and you feel its shoulder blades, roughly about 2 to 3 inches, again it depends on the size of your animal, but it's just below the shoulder blades in the direction of the tail, and that's the solar plexus. The heart chakra is more in between the dog's front legs, okay, because that obviously is the heart area of the animal. The throat is under the dog's chin, moving down towards the chest. The third eye is in between the dog's eyes and the dog's eyebrows, if you will, the little forehead area, and the crown chakra is on top of its head, roughly between its ears. So just like us, our poor animal friends can get out of balance with their chakras. They go through their own type of trauma, whether it's man-induced, unfortunately, with a lot of the rescue animals, or general trauma or stresses that they go through themselves. So it can affect, as it does with us, their chakras. Now, I have seen some wonderful results by simply balancing your pet's chakras. I do this quite a lot, not only with my own but for clients, and I get wonderful reports of how the animals are relaxed, they are comfortable, they are a lot more content with themselves, and generally a lot more healthy. So how do you do it? I hear you cry. How do you get your animals to lie there with crystals on them? I don't. What I do is use a substitute. So it's perfect if your animal is actually asleep and resting, or just generally lying there content, because it is best that the animal is not playing out in the garden or running around a field. What you need to do is to get a substitute, and what I mean by a substitute is a stuffed toy. You can get a toy dog or a toy cat or a toy horse, for instance, and that is your substitute pet that you will actually then place the crystals around. You then just simply focus the energies, as I will tell you later on, and the energies then actually affect your pet. We need to first collect the crystals that you're going to need. So for the earth chakra, we need to collect a brown stone. So whichever brownish or dark tints, tiger's eye is very good for this. We then move on to the root chakra, so you will need red jasper or garnet. Sacral, which is carnelian, is very good. Solar plexus, amber or citrine. Heart, emerald or jade. Throat chakra, blue quartz, blue lace agate. Third eye, lapis lazuli or amethyst. The crown, clear quartz, and these cleanse them first, as I've shown you in the earlier episodes. Make sure they're nicely charged with energy and place them next to your substitute, your toy of your pet. So we now come to the actual healing or chakra balancing part. So hopefully your pet, your actual pet dog, is asleep or resting somewhere. Find somewhere that is out of pet level and take your crystals and your substitute and place them in this area, so either on a table or on a unit. Having noted where the chakra points are on your pet, take out the appropriate crystals, the appropriate coloured crystals, and place them on a level around your pet. So obviously the toy is going to be laid down. If you can splay the legs or place it on its side, that's fine, because you will need the earth crystal, the brownish crystal tones, need to be pointing or on a line with the animal's or the pet's feet. Then you take the red crystal and you're going to place it roughly around the toy dog's tail, where the root chakra is. Then take the sacral crystal, the orange crystal, place it under the back legs towards on a line where the sacral point is. So as I said, it's roughly on the underside of the tummy where the back legs join the torso. You're then going to take the yellow stone and place it where the solar plexus is, so where your toy's neck comes down and is joining the spine, roughly around that area. The green stone is then going to be placed towards the front legs of the toy. If it's on its back or its blade, it needs to be roughly between the front legs. We then have the blue stones for the throat chakra, which is going to be placed under the toy dog's chin. Then you will be taking the stones that you've got for the third eye. If you can't, place them actually on the toy dog, on the bridge of its nose where the toy's eyes would be. And then you can place the crown points, the crown clear quartz, if you've got that, actually on the toy's head, between its ears, or if it's laid on its side, placed just by where the ears are. The next part is all up to you, because this is where you are going to be channeling and directing the universal energy to come from the heavens down, using the toy and the crystals there as a surrogate, if you will, for the treatment and the balancing of your pet's chakras. So what you need to do now is take about 3 or 4 nice, slow, deep breaths, just to balance yourself, just to relax yourself, ground yourself. And when you're ready, you need to visualize beautiful, bright light coming from the heavens. You're literally asking the heavens, the universal energy, to come down and direct its energy through the surrogate toy and the crystals to your pet. So visualize this beautiful white light coming down, shining over the top of this toy, and you're going to see each one of these crystals glowing with energy. So the whole image of your toy and the crystals is just going to become a beautiful avenue of white light, just a pillar of white light where everything is charging, everything is full of energy, and this beautiful energy is working around to be directed to your pet. Once you actually see this in place, once you visualize this beautiful energy shining all around this toy and the crystals, you're then going to be focusing your mind that this toy is actually your pet. This toy is your dog, your cat, your rabbit, your horse, whatever it may be. You then visualize your animal lying there with these crystals around, and really see it very, very clearly in your mind's eye, and just sit and relax for a few minutes with this image in place. You're asking divine energy to please balance your animal, to use this toy as a substitute for your pet. Say your pet's name. You're asking for the energy to be balanced, and visualize it all taking place there. Once you kind of got it quite clearly in your mind's eye, you can just sit back and relax. Then leave the toy in place with the crystals all around it for about 20 minutes. That's all it will take. And once the 20 minutes are over, take each crystal off. Thank the universal energy for assisting you in this healing, if you will. Cleanse your crystals, put them away safely. As I said in the earlier episodes, they need to be kept in either a special box or a pouch, so they're not going to get damaged in any way, and they're not going to be affected by other energies that are around, or absorbing other energies that are around them. And take them, make sure that they're safely away from either a child or your pet. And then go and see what your pet is doing as it woken up. You may be surprised at how relaxed your animal suddenly seems to be. I certainly noticed one of the dogs of mine, was suddenly more mobile. It was less stiff as it's getting older, and it seems a lot happier in itself. You can do this type of chakra balancing on your pet once or twice a week. Certainly if you've got an animal that has been through some sort of trauma, or is getting older in its years, or has suffered some injuries, the animal will certainly benefit from this type of chakra balancing. So please give it a go, but you must be careful to remove these crystals. Don't let them fall on the floor and be anywhere around a child or your animal. Just remember that you can't do any harm to your animal by doing this type of crystal healing. unless of course your dog or a cat or a small animal actually gets hold of the crystals and swallows them. So you're not actually going to harm your animal, so please be aware of that. However, if you're not totally confident, or you haven't got the correct crystals and you would still like your pet to benefit from this type of healing, please drop me a line, as I do Reiki and I do crystal healing distantly on animals, whichever animals that you may have. So please check out my website www.salilhealing.co.uk, or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook at Salil Inner Voice. So take care, and I hope to speak to you again in my next episode.